All right, let's get right into it. If you're a developer working with single-page apps on the Microsoft Identity Platform, you've probably heard of the OAuth 2.0 Implicit Grant Flow. It's a way to get users signed in and grab tokens. But before you even think about using it, there is a huge, blinking red warning sign you absolutely need to see. And there it is, straight from the horse's mouth. This isn't some light suggestion, it's a very direct, very strong recommendation. This really sets the tone for our entire explainer, because when the people who make the platform tell you not to use something, you've got to ask why. Exactly. That's the big question we're going to unpack here. We're going to look at what this flow actually is, what it does, and then, more importantly, get into the nitty-gritty reasons why it's just not the right choice for modern apps anymore. So here's the main idea in a nutshell. Most of the time, with modern flows, the authorized endpoint gives you a little temporary code. You then take that code to a different endpoint, the token endpoint, to swap it for the real token. The implicit flow just skips that whole second step. It hands the token directly back from that first call. It was built to be simple, but, well, that simplicity came with a pretty big price tag. The warning really boils down to these two huge issues. It's not just one thing that went wrong, it's a double whammy of security standards getting way better and web browsers fundamentally changing how they work. Let's break both of those down.
And this slide lays it out perfectly. You're fighting a battle on two fronts. On one side, security best practices have just moved on, leaving the implicit flow looking pretty vulnerable. And on the other side, a really key feature, the ability to silently get new tokens, is now just broken. It doesn't work in a lot of modern browsers because they've cracked down on third-party cookies.
So, on the security side, it's really important to know this isn't just Microsoft's opinion. The official group that defines these internet standards, the IATF, explicitly says, hey, don't use this anymore. See, the flow was basically a clever hack for a time when browsers couldn't do things like cores. Those limitations are long gone, and we have much, much better ways of doing things now. And this is the obsolescence problem. This is the killer blow. The implicit flow's trick for renewing tokens without bothering the user again involved a hidden iframe and a session cookie. But now, as browsers block those third-party cookies to protect your privacy, that whole system just falls apart. Your app will try to get a new token and nothing. It'll just fail. Now, after all that doom and gloom, I know what some of you are thinking. You might be stuck maintaining an older app that still uses this. So for that reason alone, let's do a quick run-through of the mechanics of how this thing actually works under the hood. Okay, so when you're building that sign-in request, these are your key players. You've got your standard client ID. Then the response type is where you tell the server, hey, I want an ID token and maybe an access token right now, no code. And then you got nonce and state, which are your absolutely critical security guards against things like replay and cross-site request forgery attacks. Now, this is a super important tip. If you're stuck with this flow, pay attention to this. By default, the tokens can end up in the URL itself. That's bad. Really bad. It means they can get logged in browser history, server logs, you name it. Using form post is so much smarter because it sends the tokens in the body of a post request, keeping them hidden from view. And this is a golden rule for every single developer. An access token is not for you, the client app. It's for the API you're calling. Think of it like a sealed letter. Your job is just to deliver it. The API is the one who's supposed to open and read it. If you try to peek inside, your app could break the next time the token format changes. Okay, so the user's logged in, you've got a token, but there's a ticking clock, right? Those tokens expire, and usually they expire pretty fast. What happens next is where we find the real Achilles heel of this entire flow in today's world. This is the million-dollar question for any app that wants to have a good user experience. You can't just force your user to log in every hour on the hour. So how did the implicit flow try to solve this problem? The answer? It doesn't give you any refresh tokens. Zero. Zip. Zilch. A refresh token is that special, long-lasting key that lets you get new access tokens without bugging the user. The implicit flow just doesn't have them, so it had to rely on a different and, as we now know, broken trick. And this was that trick. Your app would secretly open up a tiny, invisible iframe. Inside that frame, it would make another sign-in request, but with this special instruction, prompt equals none. That told the server, hey, if this user has a cookie that says they're already logged in, just give me a new token. No questions asked, no pop-ups.
But, and here's the failure point, if the browser blocks the cookie in that iframe, the server has no clue who's asking and the whole request just dies.
So what are we supposed to do? The great news is there is a clear, secure, fully supported alternative that's recommended for every single page app out there. Let's take a look at how to build on a much stronger foundation. And here it is, plain and simple. This is the official recommendation. The authorization code flow, especially the modern version with a feature called PKCE, was built from the ground up to fix the security problems of the implicit flow. It works perfectly with modern browsers. If you're starting a new app, you use this. If you've got an old one, you make a plan to move to this.
I mean, just look at this side by side. It tells the whole story, doesn't it? The authorization code flow has that more secure two-step process. It gives you proper refresh tokens so you can maintain a session smoothly. It's designed to work with modern browser security, not fight against it. For single-page apps, it's just better in every single way. And that's what this all boils down to. Using an old, outdated authentication flow, it's like building your brand new house on a crumbling foundation. It's just not a good idea. So the question to ask yourself is, what foundation is your app built on? If you're still on the implicit grant, now you know why it's time to start planning that upgrade to something more secure, more robust, and ready for the future.